The Muscular System 1.2, Task 2, the sliding filament theory and muscle contraction. The theory of a muscle contracting includes a long process. The process starts off with a stimulus. In this situation, I'm going to use a football and a goalkeeper needing to contract his muscles to save it. The goalkeeper sees the football with his eyes, which are a sensory organ. The eyes aren't the only sensory organs, but there are things like the skin, nose and tongue which also can sense impulses. This impulse is then sent down the sensory neuron, which goes to the brain and the spinal cord, which make up the central nervous system. This impulse then goes down the motor neuron towards an axon, which has myelin sheaths covering it, and the impulse jumps over these myelin sheaths onto every gap, which are called node of Ranvier's. This process is called saltatory conduction, and this is in order to make the impulse go as fast as it can to help the muscle contract as quickly as it can. After this, it reaches a neuromuscular junction, and the impulse diffuses over a synaptic cleft, which triggers the release of acetylcholine, ACH. When there is enough of this acetylcholine, the impulse can then carry on through the T-tubules towards the sarcoplasmic reticulum, where the calcium is stored. Calcium binds to troponin, changes its shape, and then moves to the tropomyosin. These two cover the actin binding site. After the calcium's completed that, then the actin is released to then bind with the myosin. These two then can bind together and force a muscle contraction. But every time the muscle needs to contract, the myosin needs to take on ATP, which is an energy source, and this helps them pull against each other. This contraction happens repeatedly, but it can fatigue when there isn't enough ATP present. But this in turn will help the goalkeeper contract its muscles to help him save it. When the goalkeeper may have saved it, the impulse no longer is sent down the whole process, so it no longer needs to have the calcium go to the troponin and tropomyosin, so that goes back to the sarcoplasmic reticulum. So the actin is blocked up again by those two, so the muscles can no longer contract. And then another sporting example could include in cricket, where the player needs to catch the ball. So the stimulus is the cricket ball coming towards the player, and the player sees the ball with his eyes, which is a sense organ. And this whole process makes the muscles contract in order for the cricket player to adapt his position and then catch the ball. Obviously, when the cricket player has caught the ball, the whole body relaxes and the muscles no longer are under pressure, so the muscles don't need to contract.